Look closely. This elk rushed onto the highway, never attacking cars. It just kept nodding at people, seemingly asking for help. But people didn't understand. Some even frightened by the large animal. One driver immediately sped away. Then, the elk approached another car. Its eyes were anxious. A lady thought it wanted to be close to humans. The elk let out a cry and didn't seem to want to leave. It looked like the elk was in trouble. So, a kind-hearted man got out of the car, and the elk led them to a mud pit. It turns out several of its companions were trapped in the mire. How smart this elk was to seek human help. One elk, struggling hard, was already buried in the mud, likely doomed. The other 3 elks were probably exhausted too. If not for their companion calling humans, they might have all been buried in the mud. A kind young man put a rope around the elk's antlers. Everyone worked together to drag it ashore. But this elk seemed totally exhausted. The young man quickly gave it some water. The other 2 elks were anxiously waiting for rescue. People immediately began the rescue effort. Dragging in the mud was easier, but this adult elk weighed several hundred pounds. It took a lot of strength to drag it ashore. Everyone was drained. They had to rest before continuing the rescue. The elk waited patiently. A few minutes later, people pulled it up with all their strength. After being saved, the elk didn't run away but stayed close, watching these people. It seemed to want to remember their faces. It let out a cry, clearly thanking the people who helped. In the end, they saved all 3 living elks.